Hello again, and this time we're going to look at a second grammatical point to do with verbs, which is called le conditionnel, the conditional in French. Okay, so the first thing you need to know about the conditional is it's not a tense but a mood, and mood is a grammatical category distinguishing verb tenses. There are 4 moods in French: indicative, subjunctive, conditional, and imperative. All of these moods, except the imperative, may be conjugated. And if you're wondering, so far we've looked at the indicative and a little bit of the imperative too. So here's the conditional. The conditional mood is used to express hypothetical or contrary to fact statements. For example, si Corey était beau, il aurait une copine. If Corey were handsome, he would have a girlfriend. So the underlined part is the conditional. Okay, so the conditional is used to refer to hypothetical events. It occurs in polite requests and most frequently with if clauses. In French, it is called le conditionnel and is most often translated by would in English. Alright, so how do you form the conditional? Well, luckily you've just had a look at the future, which is going to help you with this one. The stem used to form the conditional is the same as the stem of the future, which, as you know, is usually the infinitive. The conditional endings are AIS, AIS, AIT, IONS, IEZ, AIENT. And you might have guessed, these are also the imperfect endings. So you're just putting together the future stem plus the imperfect endings and you get the conditional. And you can see that, as we've been going through, it is really important to learn endings and understand how verbs are put together, because with this one you just put 2 that you already know and you get the conditional. For example, jouer, to play. Je jouerai, I would play. Tu jouerais, you would play. Il, elle, on jouerait, he, she, or it would play. Nous jouerions, we would play. Vous joueriez, you would play. Il, elle jouerait, they would play. The formation above works for ER verbs, such as aimer becomes j'aimerais. IR verbs, finir, je finirai. And RE verbs, vendre, je vendrai. But remember to drop the final E from the infinitive stem of RE verbs. Okay, so as you saw in the future tense, the irregular stems, there's quite a few of them, but as you're starting to learn those ones, this using it for the conditional as well will kind of help you, so that the same irregular stems between the future and the conditional. Now here's another list of some common ones. We have the infinitive, what the stem looks like, the conditional, and a translation. So why don't I read the conditional. J'irai, j'aurai, je devrais, je serai, je ferai, il faudrait, il pleuvrait, je pourrais, je saurais, je viendrai, je voudrais. Okay, so just look through that table. What you're going to do, you'll go back to that and write it down later. The one that you've seen before, actually, je voudrais, I would want. We often think about that as just meaning I would like, but it is a conditional and they all have the word would in them in English. Okay, so there's a few different uses that I'm going to look through with you now, just explaining different times that you would use the conditional. So for the first one, it's wishes or requests. The conditional expresses potentiality. It is used to express a wish or a suggestion, to make a request, or to accept or extend invitations. It is less direct and more polite than the imperative. The verbs pouvoir, vouloir, and devoir are often found in the conditional to diminish the strength of a command. In most cases, the conditional is translated as meaning would in English. So just think about asking someone, or asking for something, you want something. If you say, I want a drink, it's very direct, but if you say, I would like a drink, it diminishes the, as it says there, the strength, and it makes it more polite. However, je pourrais means I could, je devrais means I should, and je voudrais means I would like. Okay, so when you think about the verb, the first one, pourrait, it comes from the verb pouvoir, to be able to. You can't really say, you can say I would be able to, but it does translate to I could. So just remember those three. And also, do not confuse would in English, meaning I used to, which should be translated as an parfait in French and not as a conditional. So, an example. À Paris, Joe Bob allait au McDo tous les jours. In Paris, Joe Bob would or used to go to McDonald's every day. Okay, so there's a little bit of something you might get confused about there. But remember, if it's the same as used to, then it's not a conditional, it's an imperfect. Okay, so here's a little scenario for you in a restaurant. French on one side, English on the other. See if you can spot all of the uses of the conditional. Joe Bob et Tammy se trouvent au restaurant où Edouard travaille comme serveur. Edouard. Bonsoir, madame, monsieur. Aimeriez-vous commander un apéritif pour commencer? Tammy. Oh oui, pourrions-nous avoir un Ricard et un Perrier? Ensuite, je voudrais une salade verte, s'il vous plaît. Joe Bob. Je veux un hamburger. Edouard. Monsieur, vous devriez être plus poli dans ce restaurant, sinon je pourrais oublier votre commande. Alright, can you see why the waiter might have been a little bit put out with the way Joe Bob asked for his food? Okay, another use is a hypothetical action. The conditional is used when making statements which are contrary to present facts. It expresses a hypothetical result which depends on, stated or implied, circumstances which do not exist. In order for the action expressed by the conditional to occur, something else must take place first. Note that the condition in the si or if clause is always stated in the imparfait. Okay, an example. You've got the French on one side, the English on the other. Again, I want you to spot where the conditional is being used, and with these ones you've got the condition is stating in the imperfect, so note where the two are used. Tex et Joe Bob regardent la télé. Le gros lot se montre à 30 millions de dollars. Que feriez-vous si vous gagniez? Tex. Moi, j'écrirai sans cesse des livres de philosophie. Joe Bob. Moi, j'achèterai mon diplôme d'université. Okay. Uses. Another one. Possibility or uncertainty. The conditional is also used to give information whose accuracy cannot be guaranteed. Journalists, in French only, often use it to report events which are not known to be true. You'll notice in this little conversation the difference between French and English is that in the French version they use the conditional, whereas in English we wouldn't translate it in the conditional. Okay. Tammy et Beth regardent la télé. Soudain, le programme préféré est interrompu et un commentateur annonce: Une tornade vient de s'abattre sur Ubar, Texas. Il y aurait plusieurs victimes. Un tatou et un écureuil seraient gravement blessés. Restez avec nous, nous devrions avoir plus de détails d'ici quelques secondes. Presque immédiatement, le téléphone sonne. Tammy répond: Ah, allô? L'autre bout, Tex dit: Tammy, c'est moi, Tex, ne t'inquiète pas, on va très bien, je rentrerai bientôt. So I've put in red the three conditional tenses that are used here, here, and here. And you'll see that in English, it's not used. There are to be, seem to be. We should have more details. There's a slight sense of uncertainty with the should in English. Okay, so for more practice, you can go to Texas French Grammar, the website where I've taken a lot of these examples from, and practice your conditional. And we're going to work on exercises to practice all of this conditional mood in your next French lesson. Au revoir.